Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Isom, the Director of Sales and Training for Nikken North America, and welcome everybody to our Balanced Life, Happy Life. This is perhaps one of those first stops on a journey to having more in life, whatever that might be for you. And we're glad that you've chosen to join us this evening to learn more about this company called Nikken. Nikken is a company that provides opportunity to people in so many different areas, the opportunity to create more health and wellness in your life through amazing products. Also, a supportive community of people around the world who have made a choice to create more in their life, more balance, more happiness, more joy, more abundance, and a philosophy that's really unmatched in the home-based business, direct marketing, direct selling sphere. And we have with us tonight an expert in this arena. She is a diamond in Nikken, Sherri Danzig. She also has some amazing backgrounds in different areas of the health industry, the wellness industry. And Sherri is going to help us tonight to understand more about how Nikken just may be for you a better way. So let's welcome to the stage Sherri Danzig.
Thank you, Jeff. It's always a pleasure to be here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Whether you're a consultant or you're someone brand new taking a look at Nikken, we are delighted for you to be here and to learn about what we call a better way. And I want to start with this first of this whole idea of a balanced life because a lot of people I know would laugh at that and think, huh, balance, what is that? And it's not that we're saying that we can get people to perfect balance. But what if you could feel more energized, more vibrant, without having to make drastic changes to your diet or to, like move into the gym, which is what oftentimes people think to get healthier. And imagine if you could experience more peace of mind every day and have extra time to connect with the people that are truly important to you, the most important, and that you had time and resources that were available to you every day, or at least during the week and during the month, to be able to give back to meaningful causes, whether globally or in your local community. And what if you felt like you had that extra ability to support your family, to yourself, with more security financially? So that's what we're about, and that's what you're going to learn about today. So, and this woman really embodies it. She just looks like she is singing her song, and that's what we're talking about. We're humans being more company. And Jeff, actually, who just introduced this whole thing, has this mastery of delivering a course that is really the core of Nikken, which is called Humans Being More. And it's about helping everyone that's a part of Nikken or has a connection to Nikken to know how to find what is their purpose, their true compass in life, and be just like this woman, really singing their song. So that's where we're heading, but let's focus on where most people are, at least sometime in their life, and that is about dealing with a lot of stress because modern life deals with a lot of stress, and it can come from lots of different places. Oftentimes it's about not having enough time to focus on the things that really fill up your glass. It's about feeling overwhelmed and stressed. It can be because of financial or health challenges, lots of different things that can create this ongoing stress. And many people wake up in the morning with kind of a tightness in their stomach because they're dealing with all this stress. And that's really what we're wanting to address and to be able to offer some simple solutions. So here is the a picture of this whole idea of creating balance and what is called the five pillars of wellness. And so as I described it, we can start with the mind, having time to meditate, to feeling a sense of peace, a feeling like you're learning and growing and your mind is not always in this negative chatter, that you have healthy family, that you're spending great time with your family, you have great relationships in your life. Again, with society, as I said, being able to give back to meaningful causes, to having healthy finances, and obviously a healthy body. So I want you to think about this as we go through this presentation of what maybe one area or maybe two areas that you feel like would be really good if this year you could move the needle and feel that much more balanced, that much more happy and healthy in these areas. So think about that because that's really what the core of what our message is tonight. So you might feel like, oh my gosh, there's lots of things I want to do, and they're just it feels like this ginormous task. But what we want to share, and this is a big part of how we teach people in this journey of wellness and more balance, is that it's not about radical changes necessarily. It can be small changes over time. And it's that compound effect. And that is kind of a brilliance in the financial world about compounding money and how over time and consistency you build wealth. Well, it's the same thing. You can have time and consistency with some habits to build more wealth in these areas that you'd like to see improvements in. So let's focus on, why do we want to look at this and what is the state of affairs in the world as you saw that focus on how much stress and how many things are affecting us. And we draw a line here between North America and Japan. And Japan, because as you're going to hear a little bit more, that this company Nikken started in Japan. And so they have a very different approach to health. And these numbers really speak to it. So you can see Canada is rated the 34th, the US the 68th. That embarrasses me. This is compared to the world in terms of longevity and how healthy the society is. Japan rated number one is right up there at the top. Longevity. The Japanese people live almost 8 years on average, longer than people in North America. That counts for a whole lot. And look at the numbers here of per capita, what is spent. Now, what's interesting is it's about three times more in North America to what Japan spends. And the reason for that is very simple. It's because in North America, the culture, our society is geared towards intervention. We don't focus a whole lot on prevention. And guess what? Intervention, when you try to fix something after it's broke, it's just a lot more expensive. So it makes perfect sense to be looking at your health from a preventative standpoint, a preventative approach. And that's exactly what Japan does. They are the polar opposite. So where we spend 90% on intervention and only 10% of our health dollars on prevention, Japan does the opposite. 90% on prevention, and look, it saves them they spend three times less because they're focused on not getting sick to begin with. And of course, this last stats are talking about obesity, and that's part of it that obviously plays in, that has a huge impact on health. So the message here is choose self-care and prevention rather than sick care. And here is really a demonstration of delving into all these different areas that have an impact. And what's good about it is that these are all things that are controllable, right? We're not talking about genetics here. We're talking about things that you can actually control. So stress, there's ways to control it and to learn how to deal with it and to lessen it. Poor sleep, that's a huge thing. That's really at the foundation of making a huge difference in your well-being. One night, waking up one night, having not had enough sleep and good quality sleep, lowers your immune system by up to 60%, which is huge. You can more easily get sick after one poor night's sleep. Air quality is a huge kind of a focus. And again, we can't really control air quality outside, but we can control air quality indoors, and you're going to hear more about that. Same thing with water quality. Whatever people are doing out there in water quality, there's so much pollutants. And look at this statistic, blows my mind, frankly. they've found 24,000 chemicals in bottled water. So, my message here is stop drinking bottled water because bottled water is a very successful marketing campaign, but it can't be trusted of being a good quality of water. So that's a big stressor. Stress itself, as we said, your diets, your nutrition. There's so much of a issue of people filling up with things that don't have a lot of nutrition, and so therefore they're malnourished. And then lastly is kind of a new category, which is this electro smog, which is kind of the modern life of living around so much Wi-Fi and being so connected with all of this artificial energy that has an impact. So these are all things that have a big impact on our total health. So here's in a one sentence, it's about be healthy by choice. Don't leave it to chance. And this is a good news, bad news, as I said. The good news is, or maybe the bad news is you got to take responsibility. As I said earlier, the good news is you can make a difference by taking responsibility. And I have a business partner who's a chiropractor, and she refers to her, not patients, but she calls them participants. So I offer that. Be a participant in your own health and be proactive in how you take care of your health. So enter Nikken, which is this year. It's 50 years have been around. That is amazing. They started in Fukuoka, Japan in 1975 and really have a completely new, innovative definition of success, which is about this balance wheel. So it's not like typical corporations, their shareholders want to know what's the bottom line. They're focused on the bottom line, money, money, money. And in this balance wheel, you see that the financial health is one part, but equally to all these other parts. And that's really where the newer generations, the younger generations are demanding that. Lifestyle, quality of life is as important as how much money you earn. What if you could have all of those?
Do you ever have days where everything in your life feels in balance? When your mind is clear and your body feels in tune with nature? When everyone in your family is healthy and happy? When you belong to and support a warm, loving community? When you have a stable income and no debt? Mind, body, family, society, finances. Nikken calls these 5 areas of our lives the 5 pillars of wellness. We help you cultivate balance in all 5 areas of life with the tools that build your wellness home. Because to breathe is to live, we focus on clean air. Because water is life, we focus on pure water. Because healthy food nourishes strong bodies, we focus on nutrient-dense organic ingredients. Because everyone needs restful sleep and energy to feel joyful, we focus on rest, relaxation, and magnetic support. And to keep you as youthful looking as you feel, we focus on naturally sourced marine organic skincare. Our vision is to share the 5 pillars of wellness with everyone. And we want to spread the word throughout the world. Because once you achieve a balanced lifestyle, wouldn't you want to help everyone you know to achieve the same wonderful life of active wellness? That's what we offer everyone who is part of our global wellness community. Join Nikken to build your wellness home and live a life in balance. Discover it, live it, share it.
So I want to really drive a point home on this. So you're hearing a lot about this idea of balance and living really well and being happy. And so I want you to be thinking not only about your own goals, but I want you to be thinking about who you want to share this with. Because regardless of what your interest is in Nikken, if you're looking at this for the first time or the third time, think about who do you know that would like to have a better life. And this whole idea of discover it, live it, and share it is really at the core of the message. So we don't want you to keep this a secret. We want you to invite people to come and learn this. And if you're a guest, we can get that video link, the person that invited you, so you can share that video link with, your whole community. So we've been talking about this whole thing about living in a wellness home, and a wellness home is the area we can control because we can control the environment in our home. And so this is a viewpoint. I love this picture here because I want that. I don't have that exactly. I look out to some pretty trees where I live. But the idea here is that this is about bringing nature indoors because we know we feel better when we're in nature. And Nikken defines this as biomimicry. And biomimicry is where the study of how we are impacted, our health is impacted by nature. And so all of the technologies that you're going to see there that are found in the wellness home, I'm going to jump here, that are in the wellness home are all inspired by Mother Nature. So you've got air, water, sleep, nutrition, and energy. And all of this is about creating what we like to call a greenhouse for humans. So a greenhouse for plants is optimizing, the temperature, the nutrition that it gets, the moisture, all of those things to make it the most optimal environment to thrive. And Niken's wellness home is about an optimal environment for us as humans and our fur babies to thrive. So let's look at these different areas here. So we have healthy air because if you're not filtering the air in your home, your lungs are doing all the work. And scientists have found that the quality of air in our home can be many times worse than the air outside of our home, which is not very good. There's so many cars, automobiles. I live in Atlanta and we have really bad air. There's a lot of pollutants out there in the air. So we want to create the safe haven of good air. It's so important. I know I've heard the same chiropractor has told stories about her participants and families, kids that have challenges breathing, and they have, they're in their children's bedroom, they have that air system. And sometimes they find the kids and they're like half off the bed because they just want to get as close as they can to that air system because it helps you breathe better. Our water filtration system, and we also have a shower system, is incredible. Again, it's nature's perfect water. So it's studying what is most important in nature and putting that in a water system that creates living water that helps us to feel more energized. And we are our water is so important because we're mostly water. We're like 70% water. So the quality of water that we take in, it needs to be better than bottled water. It needs to be better than tap water to have this vibrant life that we're talking about. Sleep, as I said, there's sleep technologies that involves a mattress topper and a comforter and a pillow and a sleep mask. The air filtration system can be part really of incorporating great sleep, and that is creating this cocooned environment for getting really deep restorative sleep. We have nutritional supplements because it is really important that you supplement your diet. It's very, very difficult to get all the nutrients that we need from our regular, what we get in the stores or even in the farmer's market. And then daily energy are things that you wear. I'm wearing a necklace right now. I'm sitting on a magnetic chair pad, and we have different products that you can wear during the day so that your body is getting charged and energized. So these are the things that all make up our wellness home, these technologies, and it's about science replicating nature. So we are all about creating an active wellness. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to invite a few people that would be willing to share a story about how these products have made a difference in your life. So go ahead and unmute and raise your hand, your virtual hand or your actual hand, and let's hear from a couple of stories. Don't be shy. Michelle, I'm going to pick on you because I love your story.
Thank you, Sherri. This is very enlightening. Thank you so much for taking the time to present this for us. My story started many, many years ago when I was not doing so well. I had exhausted all avenues, so I thought I had completely lost hope of feeling better. And it was a customer of mine when I was working at the bank approached me and said, "You're not looking so good. I might have something that could help you." And I was very skeptical, but very, very heavily sedated to deal with the discomfort I was dealing with. And I took it. And then I had to figure out, how am I going to tell my husband that my customers are giving me jewelry? Um, but it worked. He noticed a big difference in me, in my demeanor. I noticed a difference. I thought I was hallucinating on the drugs that I was taking, because there's no way you put a necklace on and you feel kind of tingly and feel kind of giddy, and you take it off and then you feel like not so good. That's weird. That's really weird. However, I took my husband's advice and I purchased the necklace. And then I thought, hmm, if this really works, it'll work for my son, who is dealing with a lot of issues too. And I gave him my necklace and saw the difference in him almost immediately. And that's when my attention was caught. So it improved his quality of life. It improved the quality of my life, my whole family. And then how can you not share this when people come up to you and say, wow, you look amazing. What are you doing? Well, let me tell you. And so that's how it started.
Thank you, Michelle. And I have to say that I bet you didn't just stop with the necklace, right?
No,
So it's great to start with something specific for a challenge that we have. And yet then there's the whole wellness home and it works
right.
synergistically, right?
It's amazing. The wellness home, definitely. If somebody says to me, what would you give up? There's nothing I would give up. Not every aspect of Nikken is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Debbie Jones, would you unmute and share your story, please?
I was preparing to. I was just letting Michelle finish. Hello, everyone. So, um, the really special story I have involves two of my 14 grandchildren, because for one thing, they're the reason that I rediscovered Nikken. So they're from one end of the spectrum to the other, if you know what I mean. And I know how important sleep is for the boys. They were actually having to take some kind of a medication to help them with being able to sleep. And so I remembered that Nikken had this wonderful sleep system that I was sleeping on, and thought to myself, this will probably help them. So I came into the business unbeknownst to Sherri so that I could become a wholesale customer. But it ended up developing from me purchasing the sleep system for the boys, and then the waterfall, and then the air purifier, so they've got this whole wellness home going for the boys, and they're just thriving, that it ended up developing into actually a way to earn an income and help my family. That's my really big pillar. The healthy family is really that's my heart. And so it just really helped me to be able to see how important it was to get in here, because if I could help my grandchildren, then there's so many other people that I would be able to help just by becoming actively involved, much more actively involved with Nikken than I had originally planned. So I'm
Awesome.
I'm so thankful for Nikken. I'm so thankful, and so are the parents of those children.
Mhm. Thank you, Debbie. Let's get
You're
back to it
welcome.
here because you just really set us up for what's going to continue, which is about what's beyond the products. And let's see what happens. My computer always wants to be kind of funky. Let's see, after I switch off. Come on. Let's see here. There we go. So you heard me talk about the water, and this is really one of the best ways to start with connecting with the wellness home, which is with water, and it is literally a waterfall like in nature. So if you're looking at this as a customer, look at all of these different categories that you could to jump in to simply be a customer. You can shop Nikken's categories of hydration and fresh air and restful sleep and nutrition and great skin and less stress and vital balance. I mean, all of these things. Who doesn't want this? Who doesn't want this for people they care about? And part of the wellness home and getting started and making it simple and some good discounts as well is that we have packs that are focused on the water technology focused on the energy technology and on the sleep technology. So for those that are looking at this, get with the person that invited you and they'll help navigate through how to get started with your wellness home. So as we said, you can start as a customer or you can become a consultant. You can upgrade to that. And sometimes people do what Debbie Jones was saying is they think, well, maybe I'm going to share this with a few people, so I'll upgrade to being a consultant. And where it gets really fun is when you decide that you want to be a business builder and you want to create this whole community. You can see these people are having fun, and we have so much fun in this business because it's fun when you get to help people live a better life. So that's the three options that you have there. So let's talk about from a business standpoint of why would you look at this from a business standpoint? And you're going to hear more about this and why we think this is the perfect gig economy. But most people are frankly, they're in a job, they're in a box, they're employees, they're trading their time for money, and that's what they got. And you run out of time pretty quickly. Or you can be a self-employed person, which was me. I was a massage therapist, a very successful one. I had a very thriving practice. And yet, when I ran out of hours or didn't want to work anymore because my body said, no, no, not more, then I was trapped to that. So I was still trading time for money. And you can look at these statistics and see that 95% of the population does some sort of either being an employee or they're self-employed, but it only represents 5% of the wealth. So obviously that's not a great ratio. That 95% of the population is, just a very small part of the wealth in this world. But let's look on the other side of this here. So as a business owner, this is when you own a system. McDonald's is one example. There's many of them where you are leveraging your time. So it's not just about your time. Or you could be an investor. And that, of course, that takes money. So not everybody can do that if you don't have many tens of thousands of dollars to invest. But what happens here is that you go from trading time to creating multiple streams of income. And that's where Nikken fits in as being a business owner, where you get to create these multiple streams of income. So within Nikken, within being a consultant, there's three different models. So we let you decide what is right for you. And so I have in my business, I have people that follow a retail model. And so really their whole focus is they're wanting to earn a little bit of money and they're retailing products. And then you have a small business model where this is people that you have on your team that choose to share it, with a few other people. And so they're sharing it with other people who are also going to have a retail model. And so you can earn, additional money, more money than that with that. But where the big model where we really get excited when people say, I want to make a big splash, I want to have a huge impact, is the network marketing model. And that's when when you can create Nikken as a primary income. And this is where what you get to do is you go from 30% with the retail model to about 40% with the business model. But the network marketing model, now you've got a vision of creating a whole network. So you're getting paid a smaller percentage, but on vastly bigger numbers of people. And it's different. So it's in depth. So you're getting to help people, to help people, to help people, to help people. That's where you start really seeing time and financial freedom. So that's really where you're getting to serve a big community. So let's look at this as a demonstration, a diagram of how you get started. So this first circle here is you starting your business, core business, getting some customers and having some partners. And then as you start to grow that, as I said, you get 6 generations of helping people become leaders and then them turning around and helping their communities become leaders. And you can go six levels down and be paid on all of those. And look how these numbers are growing. This is exponential growth. That you started with 9 and look where you're at now. You're in the almost 4,000 people. That's how you create a huge, huge community of people profit for the whole planet. This is a global community. And this is a great slide here where we know when we slice open an apple that there's usually like 2 seeds. That's a given. But the idea here is about planting seeds and then growing an orchard of a community. So you never know how many apples are going to be created, how many Lives are going to be impacted through planting seeds of simply sharing what we have to offer. Again, it goes back to that discover it, live it, and share it. It's that simple. And so we all know with different platforms that are being used so readily these days, Amazon, A to Z, whatever you want, you just grab your phone or get in front of your computer and it's there in hours or, a day or two. Uber, of course, I took an Uber today to get from point A to point B. Nikken has the same kind of a platform where we're leveraging the whole wellness industry. And so we are the Amazon and the Uber of wellness in terms of leveraging what our time is and our resources and our whole community to build a huge business. And you get to do this business wherever you are, as long as you've got a device of some sort. You can be sitting on the beach in Tahiti, or you could have a business that you're running, another kind of business or job, and you've got 5 minutes here and 15 minutes there. You grab your phone and you reach out to someone. So this business can be done so simply wherever you are. And I like the idea of being on the beach and doing a little bit of business too. And you start your account with it's under $40 to get started. So literally everyone can do this wherever they are. So this is kind of the talk about planting seeds. This is really the whole process. So you get started by you join. And then you start sharing and promoting. Again, these are not difficult things to do because you're going to want to share it with people that you care about. And you start inviting people to Balanced Life, Happy Life on Tuesday nights or our other different events that we have. And then as they are growing and starting to build their customers and their partners, then you are going to get all the support you need from Nikken. They're doing all the heavy lifting. So they warehouse the products, they do all the innovation, they create all of the tools for us, and the customer support. So you've got all of that there, and then Nikken simply rewards you throughout the month, and also, I mean, it's 5 times a month that you can get paid from simply doing the sharing. That's how you get paid. So again, I said this earlier that we really think of this as the perfect gig because, you can go get a part-time job and that's going to be a disruptor and take a certain amount of time of your life that doesn't have a lot of flexibility. But with Nikken, this is something that easily integrates into your life, into simply meeting people wherever you are spending time. You're going to meet people that are going to need what we have to offer. And so it's a turnkey operation in that we have all of the training and we have these different events that you get to leverage. It's all built on support. And so if you've not ever been an entrepreneur, this is a great place to start because you're going to learn how to be a successful entrepreneur and to be a successful leader, which is there's so much personal growth in this business. And the rewards are huge, everything from the checks that you get, but also being able to travel the world and have such a rich community with our global community. And you don't do this by yourself. So this is about lifting people up. You get lifted up, other people are lifting you up. We lift up people that are part of our community and part of our direct team and others that are not in our direct team. So it's all about lifting up and it's not about being competitive, but rather collaborating. And I love that aspect of it, that we're not competing with each other. We're really one global wellness community. Can you see yourself in all that? So a little bit of a time map here. So this is the first 35 years where the company did 4 billion in sales and was only just a little bit over 1% of the population share. This is a marketer's dream to have had that kind of success, but have barely touched the market. In other words, not that many people know about us. So in the next 35 years, where are we going? Well, we're going from the boomers who got started in 1989 to now that age group in the 40s and 50s and moving up. That is now the people that are the millennials and the Gen X's that are aging as well. So there's huge amounts of growth. So we're seeing that in the next 35 years, we're going to have higher and higher percentages of the share of this wellness industry that is growing so exponentially. What part of it would you like? You can start as a customer and love on these products and shop. You have your own portal to get all the things that you want. You can become a wellness enthusiast, being a consultant. You upgrade. Again, it's less than $40, and now you get to share and make some profit. And then lastly, you can become a wellness entrepreneur. And this is where you have the most fun and the most freedom. And as you've heard throughout this presentation, you don't do it alone. You have lots and lots of support doing it. So we talked, I kind of went over very quickly about the products, but brand night is on Wednesday nights. And so we dive into the products much more so then. So the same link you're going to use for tomorrow night, same time. Come on. And tomorrow night is Dr. Candace Holmes, who is going to be talking about brain health. So you don't want to miss that. So, and of course, every Tuesday you can join us here. I'm going to stop my share because I wanted to bring, before we finish, I wanted to bring Maggie McKee on because we've talked about this whole idea of business, and I want you to hear from somebody who's been very successful and how this business has had such an impact on you, Maggie. So please share.
Thanks, Sherri. What a great privilege to be able to do that. I've been with Nikken for 30 years, so I'm going to tell you why I joined Nikken 30 years ago and why I'm still in Nikken and still excited now. 30 years ago, I had been suffering with chronic discomfort for 30 years, ever since I was a teenager. And I had spent so much money and so much time, like a lot of people, looking for solutions, but nothing was more than just a slight relief. Because, I was going out, going to massage, going to different things, and I'd feel good for a day or so. But then I was back into my original environment. So it's like being an alcoholic, I guess. If you stop drinking, you should change your environment. So when Nikken came along, I thought I was a happy tenured professor. I had what most people would consider a great job, great future. I love teaching. I didn't realize how unhappy I was until I joined Nikken. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a sec. But when I was introduced to this by a healthcare professional who was a friend of mine, I decided that this was intuitively, I had no idea really how everything worked, but I just intuitively knew from experiencing a little bit of the wellness home that this is what my body could use to correct itself. So I got the whole thing right from the beginning. And I thought, well, I'm Scottish and Irish, so I certainly don't want to pay retail. So like Debbie, I got a membership so that I could not only get the products at wholesale, but I could also have the tax benefits because as an employee, I had no tax benefits. And so I jumped in with both feet, not expecting to really build a business. Maybe, I thought, well, if I made $500 more a month, I could help my kids out more in university. I could, maybe have a little bit more for myself. Well, that happened so quickly. I went, well, I guess I better revise my goals. So I did that. And because people were getting tremendous results like I was, I became an absolutely passionate entrepreneur. And, that it's a big jump from employee to entrepreneur. But with Nikken, there's so much support, like Sherri has said, so much excitement, so much that is there to support us that I didn't feel too much out of my depth, along because I had so much support. And so within 3 years, doing this part-time, just in the cracks of time I had, I was able to walk into the president's office of the college and say, I'm leaving. He thought I was going on vacation. I said, well, it's kind of a permanent vacation. So I walked away from all of that quote unquote security because I was starting to realize that security is a myth anyway. And for the last 27 years, I have had the opportunity to do Nikken from wherever I am, with whomever I want, if I want and when I want. So it's pretty cool that way. And I have built, a wonderful circle of friends. I have a meeting every morning at 8 o'clock that Sherri's part of, people who are not part of my organization, but people who share this amazing goal that I felt and saw right away in the 5 pillars of wellness, because I'd been actually developing curriculum based on a similar wheel, because I thought that North American education was pretty poorly designed, to be honest with you. And changing an institution like a university was not happening at the speed I would like it to. But in Nikken, I had that framework. I had that to offer people. Humans being more literally helped me to move, way, way ahead of what I could doing it on my own. So grateful for that. I'm still here. And the reason I stay is because of that philosophy that is so enriching and so meaningful, that 5 pillars of wellness. And because I belong to this global wellness community that it's hard to describe. We just have a ton of fun. We help a ton of people and we can make a ton of money. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Thank you, Maggie. So you've heard it. This is about dreaming big, whatever it is that you're looking for, wherever in that 5 pillars chart that speaks to you, this is a place where you can really aspire to get it. And we need people. We need more people. We want to keep growing our global wellness community. So keep checking us out, keep learning more, and we invite you to join us and have fun like the rest of us. Thank you, Jeff.
Sherri, thank you so much for sharing with everybody tonight. This really is a unique community of people who are working together to create a better world. And they're doing it in so many ways. They're reaching out and allowing people to learn, to grow, to literally become more in just so many different facets of life. Thank you, Sherri, for sharing the presentation this evening. And thank you to those who shared testimonies. Debbie, Michelle, Maggie, thanks for letting people know about how Nikken has affected your lives. We do meet each and every Tuesday, and so do invite your friends, your guests, those people who would like to learn more. And if you do have questions, you can always reach out to the person who invited you to discover more. Tomorrow night is a great night to do that at the brand night. Which focuses on these amazing technologies that are the backbone of Nikken's products. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us this evening. Have a great spring day wherever you happen to be.